Okie doke. So we are about to get into Cat Daddies and Resurgence of the Storm, Division B West Finals. I think both teams had a pretty easy time going through bracket. Cat Daddies lost, I think, one game to PRE. And then Resurgence of the Storm dropped the game to Spooky Ghosts, our team. But other than that, pretty much no resistance on the way to finals. And so we're going to start things off on BOE. I think Cat Daddies is the higher seed, chose first pick. We have banned Volskaya and Dragonshire, and then Resurgence banned Cursed and Towers of Doom. And I think we're going to get going in just a second. And then I'm also joined by Luis. Say hi, Luis.
Hi there. I'm Luis.
All right. Let's let them know that we're ready, and then hopefully we can get going here.
Ready? So which one of these teams is ahead again, Eric?
So Cat Daddies, Cat Daddies placed first in the division, right? They pretty much didn't. They barely dropped any games the whole season. I think they only dropped one the whole season, unless there was one at the end that I missed. Resurgence, I think, ended up placing second, maybe third. I'm not sure. But both of them pretty dominant in the playoffs so far, at least. All right. We're starting things off on BOE. I'm definitely looking forward to BOE. I think this is a great map for both of these teams. It is a little bit snowbally, I think, in terms of sometimes you can just kind of get behind and then it feels like a constant struggle to get back into the game, but I think it's a good showcase of team fighting prowess and just kind of lets them duke it out for game one, you know.
Actually, just excited to see two teams that are better than us play.
Yeah, absolutely. Deathwing gonna be banned.
I like the Deathwing, man. I think we found that contesting a lot of those neutral camps, especially in the early game, like if the other team has a Deathwing in the 4-man, you just can't at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Like especially that bottom camp where you're like 4-manning, right?
Yeah.
Because you can get a pick. You can get a pick in the 4-man, and then you can go start that camp. And then if there's a Deathwing on the other team, by the time you finish the camp, Deathwing just walks onto the point. You like basically can't get moved off of it. Other team's hero can just kind of respawn and then walk over. And then Deathwing gets off the point. He just presses Q onto the point, and then it's pretty much curtains. It's very, very hard to contest those camps in the early game. And I mean, just in general, he's a strong hero. As far as just like picking up stray soak, he can do it. He can do it pretty safely on this map, even when you have taken a fort. So a lot of the times teams will like take a fort on this map, and then that soak gets like pushed in so far into the enemy team side of the map that they can't really soak that top lane. But Deathwing is one of the few heroes that I think can kind of get away with it, just because he is pretty ungankable and can just kind of walk away.
As long as he has his piece, he's just not going to die the first time.
Yeah. Exactly. The other team needs to commit like way too much to secure a kill onto him, right?
I really like the Brightwing ban on this map too. I think especially in the early part of the game where you're trying to not miss out during the objective, you just send Brightwing out to catch it while still having a presence in the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Is this the undefeated May you were talking about?
This is the undefeated May. This is Magnetic's May, like 20-something games this season, and has not dropped the game. Now, this is kind of interesting. So, Fence on on Cat Daddies normally plays a lot of Anduin, and then I've seen him like default to Deckard in some cases. I don't know what healer they play when they don't get one of those two heroes. Maybe it's a Malfurion. I can see that being the case. They're gonna go with the Sonya Raynor. And I mean, Sonya obviously good pick here. There's still, you know, Hogger's still up. It's not like the solo lane's been choked out. Diva still exists. And then Raynor obviously just picking up that race hero. Gonna do pretty well with Mei too. You could even take Ace in the hole if you really want to go the team fight route, right? So we're gonna actually just choke out the healers. So there's no Malf, there's no Brightwing, no Deckers. Stukov definitely does seem good into something like Kuromi that has all that poke, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't know what Fence kind of falls back on when those picks get banned or otherwise taken away.
Uther's still around.
Uther is still around, and I think that's something that should not be ignored in this draft. Even as a potential for Resurgence, right? I mean, it's a great pick into Sonya. Obviously, they still need a tank over there. The one thing Uther has a trouble with is with the Mei, right? He can't really do anything to get himself out of that Mei engage. And the slows are obviously really annoying for him coming in, trying to press the E button on people. As we said, Hogger's going to get picked up. It's Sylvanas as well for C2D2.
I'm thinking this is a Stukov. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Stukov, I mean, we still have Tyrande as well, who's not a healer that should be ignored on BOE. I think Lucio's a great point as well. And it's going to be Lucio. Tassadar going to finish off the draft. Kind of a weird hero, Tassadar. I suppose he is a backliner that is pretty hard to gank when you do have the that Archon up. But when that Archon is not up, that's going to be prime dive target for the Sylv Hogger Muradin combo coming out from Resurgence. And I mean, we played against this Resurgence draft, right? With the Anduin Muradin, the Light Bomb shenanigans, even with Sylvanas going pretty deep. And it was a lot. It was a lot of aggression. You had to protect that backline. So having things like
a high five to do that though.
Yeah, having things like Raynor, Lucio, and then Tassadar when he does get that Archon are going to be pretty helpful in that regard. Okey-doke. So BOE game 1. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the draft? Who won the draft?
Sorry, I'm bad with names. I think Cat Daddies is on the left, right?
Cat Daddies on the left, yeah.
I want to say Cat Daddies because even though they do have like that light bomb engage, I think Cat Daddies just had answers for it, right? They're never going to be jumping on Mei. Lucio generally isn't going to be the target of getting blown up in these situations. He has a high five to help the Tassadar. Raynor isn't going to be like a massively pickable target in my opinion. So what they have to kill Tassadar?
Yeah, I mean, Tassadar definitely. I mean, even something like Sonya actually really struggles into that kind of engage, right? If you have the light bomb with the Muradin stun to follow it up, especially with all the Sonyas who are taking leap nowadays, that does actually leave her pretty vulnerable as well.
That's fair.
But like you said, like with Lucio high five, that kind of CC combo probably isn't gonna cut it this game.
I guess I mean where I'm coming from is I think the bar of execution on the right side is a little bit higher to get it right.
Yeah.
And then in order to do that, that's already like being engaged down with the light bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I think the battle becomes a lot easier after that.
The battle begins in 10
That's fair.
seconds.
I will say early game Lucio doesn't have the best sustain, so the Chromie Sylvanas might be a lot of damage for them starting on, so they have to be careful.
Okay.
Smooth moves.
Yeah, smooth moves for sure. The rest of the talent's pretty standard, I think. Got some kind of weird rotations going on here. We do have Sylvanas in the top lane trying to bully the Sonya. She did drop to about 2/3 health, but she's going to be okay.
What a great engagement from you there.
Yeah, definitely a good pull there. Fence on that Lucio falling pretty low, but he's going to be super fine. I mean, getting that Anduin pull out early is like good and bad, right? Like, it's probably nice to know that it's not up right now, but at the same time, there's not really going to be a fight forced anytime between now and when that cooldown comes back up. At least none that's super necessary. C2D2 getting caught up by the Mei a little bit. Does have the haunting wave to get out of there. Magnetic using that trait just to heal up a little bit.
I really like how Magnetic sets up these engages. You like just like E in. I feel like a lot of times when I see Mei combo, or at least the way that I've seen her use, is like she's dropping the W first and then looking for a combo, but he's just cutting people off straight up with the E.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna turn you up a little bit because the chat says you're kind of quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Hopefully that's a little better. I think it was on my end, not really yours.
Gotcha.
Time trap on the Mei here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They do still have the ability to jump in here, but I think that Blizzard is going to zone out the members. Sylvanas have rotated to the top lane. They're getting a lot of structure damage resurgences on this top lane. Looks like we do have a little bit of a rotation up here for Cat Daddies. So Vern just used the Hogger E. He's actually going to get himself out of there really nicely. And ultimately, we're going to be trading front wall for pretty much nothing on the bottom side. So really good place there from Resurgence. They're going to even get started on this Bruiser camp, which Cat Daddies has yet to even think about doing. Looks like Cat Daddies have instead decided to invade. Hogger E comes out. We do have a bit of an engage onto Sylv. Cat Daddies are going to try to steal this camp away. Tay on the Sonya falling maybe too low. We do have the first kill onto Raynor. Cat Daddies are going to have to walk away here. Magnetic, are they going to make it out? It looks like they might be.
Ooh, what a
just
stun.
a second. Great stun there from Percy. It's going to be a double kill in favor of Resurgence. They're going to walk on over to the Immortal. And not only do they have this Immortal kind of advantage, they also have that camp pushing in the top lane that Sonya's going to have to clear for a little bit. So halftime is going to get triggered pretty quickly here for Resurgence. And then we will see both teams kind of recontest.
D2, D2, and Wingman pretty low on mana here, though.
Yeah. It looks like Cat Daddy's getting real aggressive here. Not content with just kind of racing through. They want some sort of a kill. Resurgence of the Storm playing really passively. So Vern on the Hogger gets Sonya speared. Lucio boop. He doesn't have an E. Anduin pull just a little bit too late, and that's the pull on cooldown with no Hogger available. Cat Daddies find their kill, but Chromie, Sylvanas are just constantly poking out this Immortal. I don't think they're going to be able to secure the objective. C2D2 barely has the Haunting Wave to get out of that Mei engage. Meanwhile, Chromie just still poking away at the objective, falling ever so low. The DPS of Cat Daddies have been working on the Immortal in the meantime, falling very quickly to Raynor Sonya. This is going to be really close. Resurgence need to make some sort of a move. Cat Daddies, are they going to get the Immortal? It's going to go over to Cat Daddies with the help of that kill on Sylvanas. They're not willing to give up these regen globes either, and they're going to find a pick onto Chromie and maybe Anduin as well. Looks like they'll let that one go. But an Immortal here for Cat Daddies after losing the halftime. They managed to play the defense very well, putting Sonya Raynor on that Immortal and then finding the kill on Sonya. That being said, Immortal is gonna get. Oh, I'm sorry. Resurgence won. Won the Immortal.
Yeah.
I'm completely.
I was wondering whether
I was
you
like,
were gonna
wait a
catch that.
second.
I will say though, like, what do they get? A front wall for a front
Basically
wall?
nothing. Yeah, a front wall for a front wall. Cat Daddy's looking to grab the camp on the bottom. They do have a little bit of an XP lead, but not much. The camp's kind of traded out once again. And last time we saw the Sylvanas Hogger get a lot of value in the top lane, so it looks like Cat Daddy's
They're not ignoring
are
it.
not ignoring it this time. They're going to rotate up. And you can see even Resurgence have kind of expected it, and they're no longer pushing, seeing that Cat Daddies have left the bottom lane.
I really like that awareness.
Magnetic
Ooh, May
alone
falling
in the
real low.
bottom lane. She does trade, but it might have been a little bit premature. Sylvanas not going to go after her. Lucio coming down, trying to get some sort of an engage here. Anduin falling very low. He is going to be able to make it out. No kills so far.
Sonya was left alone top lane though.
Yeah, and Sonya is doing her best, getting as much value as she can. She's going to get a little bit of damage on that front wall. Not much, though. Both teams pretty even here going into the second Immortal. That being said, Cat Daddies does have access to this Bruiser camp right here, which Resurgence do not have access to. And Resurgence are not super content with that. They're going to be able to spot out the Cat Daddies team with the Chromie activatable at level 1. Great engage onto the camp. Raynor and May are going to go
Anduin in trouble.
down. Anduin is in trouble,
Ooh,
but
doesn't
he is
matter.
going to be super fine. Muradin managing to jump on out of there.
That invade happened so last minute. That was so
It
good.
did happen very last minute, and from so many different directions as well. So Resurgence kind of proving their worth here.
Be warned, allies. I move to new ground.
So this time, they have won the halftime, but they also have the heroic talent tier advantage to win the second half as well. Cat Daddy's a bit more open to giving up this Immortal than they were last time. They have achieved the heroics. It looks like a bit of a Horde pull onto a May that wasn't quite out of position. So right now in a bit of a weird spot, does not have the E. Gonna get pulled by the Anduin. Sonya does find a little bit of an engage, but a great root from Sue on the Anduin to make sure that Hogger gets out alive.
The demon moves for the gates of heaven.
C2D2 having prepped the wave here. It's gonna get aggressive with this Immortal. It is full shields. Tassadar, Raynor, Sonya are gonna be able to get rid of it fairly quickly though. We will probably see the fort go down, but I can't imagine much more than that. Meanwhile, Sylvanas Hogger in the bottom lane are getting a lot of work done. So that's going to be 2 forts for Resurgence. We do have an ice wall on the top on the Chromie. No ice block for her apparently. She is going to go down. So Cat Daddies do find 1 kill to kind of get themselves back in the game, but they are 2 structures down.
Sonya was pretty aware of the potential pull from the Anduin there too.
Yeah. Cat Daddy's pushing in on the top lane. Good route there from Anduin, making sure Magnetic doesn't get any sort of an engage here. And again, we're pretty even on XP. 5 members of Resurgence rotating together into the bottom. Magnetic doing their best to stop that rotation. Shu on the Tassadar looking for a little bit of a wall. Might have been too aggressive there. We do have a bit of a light bomb engage onto the Tassadar. There is no high five to get him out of there. Sound barrier was used, but it was not enough. That being said, 2 members of Resurgence are going to fall to the Raynor Sonya combination. Ultimately, maybe just a bait. Maybe a bit too greedy for that kill on Tassadar. It's definitely a great sound barrier from Fence on the Lucio. Keep Tassadar up for as long as possible.
Repent before my wrath.
So we're basically even on experience once again going into this next Immortal phase. Definitely not something you see on BOE all the time. I feel like EXP parity does not happen every game. Ooh, Tay barely dodging that root with the help of the spear onto the Murden.
There's that Shoe Puff really likes that electric fence talent.
Yeah.
I remember it really caught me off guard when we played them.
Yeah, those slows are pretty annoying. Ice Wall into Chromie
Ooh,
again.
another great wall.
She does have the Ice Block to get herself out of there. Light Bomb comes out. It's going to stun just Sonya, it looks like. Sonya's going to go down, as does Chromie. Big black hole going to hit a lot of members of Resurgence. They're going to be able to get Murden down pretty low, but not going to find any sort of kill. C2, D2 coming in on the back line. Lucio Sound Barrier coming out maybe a bit too late. Doesn't even connect with the Mei, so she's going to go down as well. Tassadar soon to follow thanks to the stun from Murden. Almost a great spin there from Hogger. But Lucio is going to be able to walk out pretty safely. This is going to be a camp and an Immortal going over, at least the first half of Immortal going over to Resurgence. Chromie, having been the first to die, is going to be the first to respawn as well. So halftime triggered here. Are we going to see another team fight? We are still pretty even on XP, at least in terms of talents. Looks like it's not the best Immortal positioning for Cat Daddies, so I think they're going to be content just giving up the rest of this Immortal. Magnetic is maybe looking for something. Does she have the Ice Wall? It is going to cut off two members, but not connect with any of them. Sonya Leap comes through. Light Bomb to try and save Anduin here. He is going to be able to walk out just fine. Maybe a bit of an overextension there from Cat Daddies, not for their life, but for their heroics. I mean, that was Ice Wall, that was Leap, that was Black Hole. Not going to be available for this push that Resurgence has built up in the top lane.
It's basically a full shield Immortal.
It is basically a full shield Immortal. Gonna do some heavy damage onto the front wall. 16's kind of just around the corner for Resurgence. We'll probably get it off this minion wave here. Maybe not quite yet, actually. It's gonna be real close. Ice Wall comes out. Doesn't really connect on anyone. Lucio gets sniped with the help of the Wailing Arrow. We did have the Sound Barrier up, so that's a cooldown that just didn't get used. Keeps gonna go down. Immortal's still at 75% health, and with that pick, are they? Oh, Hogger is going to get taken out. Cat Daddies really needed that to stay in this game. Murden's going to get pulled by the Anduin. Black Hole was finally used there to just kind of zone. And Cat
They really needed that Hogger pick too.
That Hogger pick was crucial. I think Cat Daddies, or Resurgence, were looking to end the game there. You could kind of tell the way they were moving in towards the court. The second Hogger got picked, it was like, back up, back up. Level 16s are now here for Cat Daddies. They do have an even fight now. Pretty much all the heroics are up for both teams, sans Black Hole and Wailing Arrow. Are we going to see a bit of a fight over this Bruiser camp? I think Resurgence knows the Cat Daddies are on it, but they're not really willing to take the fight. Perseus now coming in. Just going to go ahead and clear that out. And the one thing that Resurgence have in this game is map control. 3 forts dead. They can afford to play this next objective so slowly. The second they get that defensive Immortal positioning, they can just wait it out. And especially with the help of the Chromie, kind of Chromie poke that they have, they can play these Immortal fights really slowly if they want to.
They played the first one really, really smart.
Bit of a bush party here for Resurgence. I wouldn't imagine that they're actually looking to make an engage. Just more looking for vision. And they do actually find some big damage. Magnetic gets completely blown up. Murden stunned into Wailing Arrow. Not even going to get to press the trait button. Anduin throws the Light Bomb out, but it didn't really matter. She was dead before it even connected.
That was very well executed.
Very, very well executed.
I don't look at this team comp and think, we're gonna zero to death on May.
I mean, with Chromie, especially with all that burst damage that Sylvanas can do, Lucio Sound Barriers can come out there. Pretty much nothing, actually. May will be back up to defend this Immortal, but it is going to be a full shield Immortal going into this bottom keep. Cat Daddies definitely have the means to defend it, but they are probably going to have to take a team fight past the Immortal at some point. Looks like they're debating, do we clear catapults on top? Is this going to be worth it? It looks like that is what they're going to go do.
They do have a short window here, right? Because heroics are still down for 20 seconds on
20 seconds, yeah.
on Resurgence.
Yeah. Ooh, May Icewall does catch the Hogger. Maybe not who Magnetic wanted. Does have the E to get himself out of there. There is a big engage onto the back line. Pole is going to save C2D2. Sonya going to be able to spin, but not quite enough damage. They do trade 1 for 1. Hogger ends up going down. Magnetic getting so slow in that Chromie sand. Just so slow. Just slowly, painfully walking out of that ult. Is real rough for Magnetic. And this Immortal is, I think, just going to be too healthy for Cat Daddies to be able to deal with, especially with Sonya being gone. Their only ability to engage also being dead for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's going to move in towards the core. Do Resurgence have the damage? Great Q there from Tastar. Actually chunks the entire backline of Resurgence. But they have to focus on the Immortal, and the Immortal is going to do too much damage here. That's going to be game 1, going over to Resurgence. What
I gotta say, C2D2 had some great plays this game.
What a great back and forth. Yeah, just in general, the CC follow-up there for Resurgence was very well executed, especially right at the end there on that May, of course. Definitely just kind of it was like it was close until it wasn't close, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second Resurgence kind of had that map control, they were in control of the game. Cat Daddies kind of found a way to get back in, whether it was like a pick on a hero or an invade or whatever. And then all of a sudden, those ticks for Cat Daddies just stopped happening, and Resurgence just made play after play that put them further and further ahead.
I mean, just in that last play where they were able to get the pick on the May, right? They had enough map control that they were content just to stand and wait in position as 5.
Yeah.
For a little bit and not have to worry about the map during that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I have to ask. Let me actually real quick look at the stats because I'm not entirely sure, but I kind of just want to know how many times Fence has played Lucio in the season. And not to say that his Lucio play was necessarily bad, but there were not a whole lot of games played, right?
I don't think so.
So I will say in at least this season, that was Fence's first game of Lucio. The entire season, at least according to Hero's profile. Do you think that banning the 3 healers strategy that Resurgence went through, is that gonna be a common theme in this series?
I don't think it's gonna fly next round. I don't think it will be allowed in the next round.
And what on what terms do you think they're just gonna pick
I
their
think
healer
they're either gonna
early?
take their healer early. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Lucio was not bad. Don't get me wrong. Like the Lucio was fine. There were certain points in the game where I wondered if the high 5 would have been better.
High 5 would have been better. Yeah, I was just thinking that as well.
Especially like you don't need the burst mitigation on Chromie necessarily, but you do. It is helpful to have like the Unstoppable to get through slowing sands, or to not get like wombo comboed by light bomb.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we're going to Alterac.
We are going to Alterac for map 2. I'm assuming that let's see, first draft team, yeah. So Cat Daddies picked first pick. So that's going to be another Resurgence pick for Alterac. Resurgence of the Littlewolf. I don't know about that one.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, Alterac definitely gives room for a bit more macro potential, right?
Another good Chromie map too.
Definitely good. I mean, most of the maps are good Chromie maps, if we're being
That's
honest.
fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the one thing that Resurgence did really well that game, aside from just winning fights, is they leveraged the Sylvanas and split pushed with that really well when they had the advantage, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Even
I mean, there was that early game
for
fort top.
Yeah, the early parts of the game, and then they split it when they had that immortal pushing, secured them 2 forts, or they otherwise probably would have just gotten the 1 fort if they just pushed S5. I mean, I think those kind of plays, Alterac kind of lends itself to those kind of plays, right? So I would be I'll be interested to see if C2D2 goes more into that kind of split pushing role that he played in this last game.
And I mean, I think, was it their team that we tried kind of forcing into fights and they just kind of said no on this map? If I remember correctly.
It wasn't on this map. It was on Volskaya, but same kind of deal.
Yeah. Where I think C2D2's team is smart enough to say, if we don't think this fight is favorable for us, we're just gonna go do something else.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't count out Cat Daddies just yet.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, they've been pretty dominant this season. I do think that first loss was a bit of a wake-up call for them. This is not going to be a walk in the park like the rest of the season has been so far.
Yeah. I am still very impressed by Magnetic as a tank, even though he kind of got figured out by the later parts of the game just because they fell behind. But, I mean, a lot of those ice walls were solid engages.
Yep.
Is this out of 5?
This is out of 5, yeah. Yes, sir.
We are ready.
All right. Alterac pass.
So I think Cat Daddies is going to ban the Sylvanas.
Really? It has been C2D2's kind of hero of choice in the later parts of this kind of like postseason.
I think she's going to be decent on this map, right? Gives them a lot of macro pressure on the map, which was very good on the first game.
Yeah.
Post 10, I think it punished the Mei a lot as far as like not letting her know necessarily when she has the route to trait safely.
Mm-hmm.
And overall just did a ton of damage.
Yeah, we'll see. Just in general, I'm excited to see what Cat Daddies has up their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've been forced to show their hand really at all this season, for the most part. And they've been kind of playing a lot of comfort picks and playing very, very standard drafts for the most part, I'll say. So I definitely am interested to see what they do when they are backed into a corner like we're starting to see here.
Here's the healer squeeze again too. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the healer picked early on their side.
Yeah, Deckard just instantly getting banned out. And I've spoken on my stream about how good Fences Deckard is. I kind of like compared it to in my head. I kind of compared it to like Armada's Fox, where it was like he played Anduin all the time, Anduin, and then like the Deckard came out, and it was like that was the real boss. So yeah, we're still seeing the healers squeezed.
So what, we're seeing an Anduin here?
I have to imagine it's the Anduin. And if it's not, it's just going to be,
Malfurion is still up too.
Malfurion is still up, but I don't know. They're not going to have another opportunity to pick before bans, right?
Malfurion, Stukov, Luther. There we go.
It is the Anduin. They're too afraid of what happened last game.
I should message Fence and ask them what they think of the Anduin, Rick. They're really good on him.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Chromie Johanna. So no Anduin this time to pair with the Johanna. But we do have the Chromie once again for Wingman. We'll see what Cat Daddies have. Are we gonna just see the same heroes? It's gonna be Sonya, it's gonna be Raynor. Definitely more of the same so far. I mean, now that the healers have been picked up, let's see what Resurgence have kind of decided is the next priority in terms of bans. It is kind of interesting that Cat Daddies banned out the Mei, because that has been their tank of choice for most of the season. It's going to be Diablo as the second tank to get banned here in game 2.
I wonder if they'll take the Murden now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, with the Anduin, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uther's still available, too. Malfurion going to get banned. I wonder if this is going to be one of those hypermobile heroes that Diablo is pretty good against. Maybe something like an Orphea or a Tracer. Even, I don't think Illidan's really in the equation, but...
Diablo being gone also makes Lucio better.
Yeah.
Ooh, Oriole.
Oriole. Gonna be
That's exciting.
An interesting hero. I wouldn't even say Chromie is the most reliable battery for her either, so there's still gonna need to be something else.
I don't think Chromie's bad.
Definitely not bad, I'll say. It's not optimal, though. I don't think. Just due to the sheer nature of Chromie's kit, it tends to be kind of random. It's going to be Thrall Varian. Murden going to be tossed away. We're going for main tank Varian instead, with some Thrall to follow up. And I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, we have a lot of tools to deal with Varian. We have
bursty.
We have 2 unstoppable frontliners that can't really get taunted between Hogger and Johanna. We have Oriole, who can E him away if he charges, and then can also Aegis the person that gets taunted. Greymane is going to be the last pick. So there's a ton of burst there for Resurgence of the Storm. And this is definitely going to be an interesting draft. We'll see how Magnetic does on this Varian. The one thing that kind of interests me, at least right now, is there aren't that many good Light Bomb targets for the Anduin. I mean, yeah, we have maybe a Varian charging in, or maybe post-Sonya Leap. But Sonya Leap is not necessarily a great Light Bomb follow-up like Murden Leap is, right? Like, if you cast Light Bomb on Sonya and then she leaps in, the stun just overlaps with the stun that Sonya already does. You kind of have to, like, put Anduin in a really weird position to be able to follow up on that stun.
Going for like a weird like C Smash Light Bomb stuff.
C Smash Light Bomb I can't imagine will be a thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I don't know. Especially into Oriole.
Into Oriole, right? Like with the Aegis? I feel
they
like
are playing front to back though, right? Like I don't think you're diving the backline with.
I mean, Chromie can ice block. I suppose Oriole's pretty vulnerable. But yeah, it's going to be hard to dive the backline with that roster. You're saying with the Cat Daddies roster, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what they're trying to do.
I mean, it does seem like both teams are playing front to back, right? I mean, with Greymane, Johanna's going to Blessed Shield. Let's pull those talents up for people. It is still the W build Sonya. Raynor getting pretty low. He's going to be fine.
Great focus there on Resurgence's side though.
Yep. C2D2 gonna come down and deal with the Sonya a little bit. Gonna have some just quick back and forth here in the mid lane. Thrall, Johanna on top. Definitely just a very weird laning setup so far. We have Hogger staying mid, so Johanna being the quote-unquote off laner at the moment. Hogger gonna go start the camp, so I guess that part makes sense.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, early game with the Chromie, it's not like Cat Daddies will be able to do too much structure damage on this point.
Mm-hmm. And there is, I think, a weird talent here in Rainer's ace in the hole.
I don't know about that rotation by Magnetic.
Oh yeah, Magnetic did. He is
He made it out.
he did make it out, but he also didn't pull Resurgence off of the camp. He really just did nothing for 30 seconds.
Which I mean, he's pre-level 4 Rainer, right? Or not Rainer,
Kind
Varian.
of questionable rotation here, but he's gonna get a charge onto Green. Anyway, as I was saying, we have ace in the hole Rainer with really not a hell of a lot of slows on this Cat Daddies roster. Like the Varian taunt isn't even a stun, so you don't get procs off of that. I suppose the E and the Q do, but
Maybe Earthquake?
Earthquake is actually a really good point, yeah. But we'll see. The rest of it is roots. I mean, Sonya's a micro stun. She has no slows. Thrall has a root. Anduin has a root.
Yeah, I don't know.
Love these Chromie traps. I love that Wingman on the Chromie has been taking this level 2 that gives him the extra traps. I love those extra words. I think that's actually so valuable.
Some of our soldiers prisoner. Get ready to free them.
So far, pretty standard beginning of the game here. They're all sitting on 14 stacks of Echo Elements.
Ooh, are we looking at an invade here?
We are looking at an invade up top. Magnetic coming in. He does have the level 4. Gonna get whipped away by the Oriole, and I think Severn maybe took too much damage spinning on that camp. Gonna be free. C2D2 went to try and help. Is gonna get slowed. No taunt available. Doesn't quite have the disengage to get away. That's gonna be kind of a free kill there for Cat Daddies that they really didn't deserve.
I don't know. I mean, they saw Johanna bot lane.
No, absolutely. But I guess I'm just saying C2D2 kind of just very much over.
Kind of rotated down for no reason.
Yeah. Camp was already lost, at least from what we saw. This is going to be an objective. It's going to be channeled here. Cat Daddies are at least going to try. Chromie can only interrupt it for so long. We had 2 heroes channeling objective forever. Man, kind of alone on the Chromie here. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Sonya kind of getting pretty low here. We do have Severn coming in, maybe some sort of an engage. Grayman gets taunted and rooted. He is going to be able to get out of there. Shoe Puff on the Sonya goes down. Johanna barely has the trait to get herself out. And even though Cat Daddies lost the hero, they do manage to secure the objective. Find themselves with a small experience lead, even despite that kill.
Overall, a favorable trade.
Overall, a favorable trade for them, for sure. Sonya will basically be up to push with this objective, so I think they're going to do just fine here. Three-man push in the bottom lane. Sonya Greyman going to duke it out mid. Thrall, Hogger in the top lane. Lots of structure damage being done here. Just in general, not a hell of a lot of wave clear for Resurgence in this bottom lane right now. We do manage to save the fort. But the Same cannot be said for mid. Shoe Puff on the Sonya did tons of damage. That mid fort is going to go down. We're still applying pressure to this bottom fort as well.
Our cavalry sacrifice will not be in vain. The Frost Wolves are finished.
I will say prioritizing keeping a boss lane up above mid probably not a horrible idea.
Yes and no. Mid lane isn't a boss lane, but it is the lane that the camps tend to push through. So having the fort down means those camps are now threatening a keep, and they can't really be ignored that much. And they do tend to do a good deal of structure damage. I think most games on Alterac tend to end through mid, as opposed to through a boss lane. So those camps do quite a lot of work, especially in the late game if they go uncontested.
I guess it does also make killing them a riskier business.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on up here?
And we do have a little bit of a tussle here. I mean, both teams have level 10. Neither team really having a distinct advantage here. Tommy trying to get some vision there.
You know what to do.
Anna has the trade. Looks like she might... Ooh, Blessed Shield goes out. It looks like Magnetic was thirsting for the taunt there. Perseus has to blow the Blessed Shield. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, we do have the Aegis. We do have the ability to turn with something like the Cursed Bullet, right? Because it's worth noting, Magnetic doesn't have Shield Wall. He did go for Warbringer, so he has that charge cooldown. He can charge to allies. But doesn't have that protected status. Yeah, Greymane on the boss. Falling very low. Does have the Oriole to keep him up. I don't know if Pei got vision of that. He definitely has vision of it now. She's that boss at half health. Looks like the entire side for Cat Daddies is going to rotate up. Resurgence are going to have to back away. They're going to push this fort in, it looks like. Oh, weird. We dropped the Hyperion, maybe just to push the wave in.
They are getting 13 soon.
They are getting 13 soon, that is true. Cat Daddy's gonna go grab their camp. One that is not quite available for Resurgence yet. Still a minute out. We do have
nice
Thrall
pick.
going down in the top lane. C2D2. That Cursed Bullet. Getting the pick. Magnetic not gonna fall, but getting pretty damn low. And that was exactly what Resurgence needed. 13s were pretty much there as they found that pick on the Thrall. Doesn't even get to press R in the process.
And again, there's those Chromie train traps that you were talking about.
Yep. Just all over. Just give all the vision.
Ooh, that
Uh-oh,
Chromie
big
definitely
man.
stayed.
He does have the ice block. He probably is going to get Aegis here as well, if I imagine. No, it looks like we're just going to give her up. And Resurgence... They made a great play to get themselves back into the game, and then all of a sudden...
You feel like the Chromie kind of
like
overstayed
that.
there for no reason.
Yeah. Perseus gets rooted, does not have the taunt available. Aegis is going to get burned. Perseus on that Joe is going to be able to walk away. Hogger doing so much damage onto that back line.
Holy cow.
Oh my goodness. C2D2 going to swipe in there, get a double kill. Huge damage there. They're all sundering. Gets thrown out there just to kind of save the members of the blue team of Cat
So
Daddies.
much value off of Hogger there, though.
Yeah, Hogger with the great spin on the back line, just tonking the entire team. Could have stopped at any point, said, no, I'm going to die for this.
It's worth.
C2D2, he's your double kill. Now we have a little bit of a stalemate here. Looks like Resurgence is going to rotate up to this boss. Are they going to start it? No, we're making a really aggressive play. We do have a bullet onto the Thrall, but it looks like the rest of Resurgence weren't quite there yet. Taunt going out onto Greymane. He gets rooted. Oriole Heal comes through. He's going to be fine.
That was a little messy.
That was a little messy. When you're making your engage with Greymane, I mean, And now C2G2 kind of stranded. Luckily, the follow-up CC doesn't quite connect. Sonya leap misses. Magnetic in a weird spot. This is a lot of spaghetti coming out here.
I really like them choking out that spot. They're saying, "Hey, listen, like you're gonna have a hard time walking through this area. There's already slows through it."
Big stuns onto the whole team. Magnetic has to get pulled. Sonya's gonna go down. Looks like the rest of Cat Daddies are gonna be okay, but they are not gonna be able to get this objective. Actually, with the pick on Thrall, are they gonna be able to walk in here? No, objective gets secured.
No light bomb, but Varian might be looking here for.
Varian does have a taunt relatively soon, but not going to be able to find it. And Resurgence did manage to grab that objective, but they are looking at a talent tier disadvantage here in just a second. Cat Daddy's just about to hit 16. So I can't imagine Resurgence are going to get a hell of a lot off of this little push. Rainer positioning in the top lane, just getting ready to wave clear. Ooh. I thought for a second there that we would see a Blessed Shield come out on the Rainer, but wasn't quite up yet.
Looks like we are looking at Sonya being that light bomb target, at least from that last fight.
Like we said, relatively easy defense. Mid lane kind of got cleared by itself. Supuff kind of struggling. But it's going to be okay for the time being. Looks like the entire team of Resurgence are going to rotate down to this bottom lane. Magnetic checking the boss up top. And this rotation to the boss did go through the blue team's vision.
Varian's going to be late for this,
though. That they're here. Varian is going to be late, but we do have Thrall Sundering with a light bomb to follow up, connecting on 2 people. Sonya's going to leap onto the boss point. And the red team have some heroes there, but Shootpuff barely staying alive. Boss not quite going over. Magnetic makes it just in time. Oof. That is going to be a 4-for-2 trade with the boss in favor of Cat Daddies. And that is most likely going to be keep. Chromie is the only one that stayed alive, so she can defend.
And they do have a front wall.
Abilities. But yeah, no other heroes available for at least 15 seconds.
Chromie's got to be real careful here, too.
Chromie does have to be real careful. I mean, those sidewalls are still up, but there is a hungry Varian waiting. Yeah, that's definitely going to be the key. It looks like Cat Daddies are going to back off here. G2 coming in with maybe a bit of a flank. Hogger does. Order pulls in. We do have the first bullet onto Varian. Light Bomb is going to come out just to make sure. Ooh. Buy him a little bit of time. Blessed Shield whiffs. I don't know if you saw it there. C2D2 trying to stay super aggressive. Thrall's coming in for a flank. Does not have the ult quite yet. But oh no, he does have it. Not going to pull the trigger though. Cat Daddy's saving those cooldowns.
Bullet is back up now.
Bullet is back up. Taunt as well. Leap comes in onto Johanna. She does get Aegis. Sonya now in a bit of a weird spot. Gets pulled, but not going to do it.
Great Aegis.
Great Aegis. Hogger going to do some spinning. Maybe not quite the thing he was looking for. Perseus on the Johanna is basically dead here. Still comes into the fight. Throw out a blind onto Rainer. Ooh, Hogger is going to go down. Looks like C2D2 on the Greymane is going to go down as well. Gonna be 2-for-1 trade. This one's a bit of a bloodbath. I mean, 11 kills to 8. Magnetic still hungry for something. Finds the Oriole. Does not quite get the taunt on her somehow.
Great Blessed Shield.
Great Blessed Shield. Is that why it didn't happen? Was it the Joe Blessed Shield? Gotcha.
That was the Joe Blessed Shield there to peel for the Oriole.
That must have just come off cooldown too.
It literally did, yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Cat Daddies have secured this objective here. Gotta hold it for another 20 seconds, but I don't think that's going to be a problem considering there's 2 red heroes who are still not respawned yet. Level 20 advantage and an objective here for Cat Daddies. The Sundering Thrall with the Blink. The Bolt of the Storm at level 20.
Desperate Prayer from Anduin.
Desperate Prayer from Anduin. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, with Johanna Rainer, or Johanna Chromie Greymane, they are just kind of trying to blow up a target, right? As long as it's not Anduin, a Desperate Prayer is going to get a lot of value. And I mean, what else are you taking at 20, right, on Anduin?
The double pull.
The double pull, I guess. But like we said, it's on a comparable cooldown to Blessed Shield. That's really the only time you're going to need it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I dislike the Desperate Prayer. I just think you don't see it as often, so it's cool and do.
Toe keeps are down. Level 20, almost here for Resurgence. Looks like they're going to be able to save this keep for the time being. They do have the level 20 talent. C2D2 getting very aggressive again. Perseus does have that Blessed Shield. Are they willing to pull the trigger? No, not quite yet. Varian looking for something. It's worth noting, Varian does have the Shattering Throw at 13. So Perseus on that Joe needs to be a bit careful. And there goes the shield. It's going to get immediately deleted. Sonya leaps onto the back line with the Light Bomb. Going to be doing a lot of damage to Wingman over here. And Perseus is going to try to peel for her. Going to use the Indestructible. Meanwhile, Thrall on the back line goes down. Got Sonya just doing too much damage back here. Ends up finding the kill onto Johanna. Greymane goes down as well. Cat Daddies. Another 3 kills. And they have the 3rd keep. Are they going to go for the core? It looks like Shoepuff wants to. They're going to pay for Boss in. Do they have enough damage for this? Kuromi Oriole here to defend. I think they're going to be just fine with the 2 minion waves crashing. I think they're going to be just fine. Sonya might go down, but they are going to be able to close it out here. Game 2 going over to Cat Daddies.
That was really well played by them.
Definitely well played. All right. Kind of an interesting death spread here if you look at the match summary. We got 5 deaths on Sonya, 3 on Thrall. You could see how hard of a time it was for those melee heroes for Cat Daddies, but they still managed to pull out the W. Sonya doing a whopping 125,000 siege damage that game. Way more than any of the assassins.
They also just did a great job disrupting the Oriole in that last fight.
Yeah. So Cat Daddy's going to pull out game 2. We're now 1-1. Reminder, this is a best of 5. So we do still have a bit of a series ahead of us. At least 2 more games. And I gotta say, I'm not saying this was the key to the draft, but putting Fence on the Anduin seemed to do a lot of work.
Did a lot of work.
And I think Anduin was a good pick that game.
I mean, I think for Anduin, the combination of Pull and Light Bomb just set him in a good spot for most competitive games right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you were not wrong. All right, let's look over at the maps here.
Braxis
is still up. You do still have the option to go to Braxis, unfortunately.
Yep. Unfortunately, they still have the option to go to Braxis. The option.
The option. Other maps, we have Garden of Terror, Infernal Shrines, which I'm sure we'll see at some point.
Yeah, but I'm really sure we'll see
Spider-
Praxis at some point.
Spider Queen. Praxis would be interesting.
Yeah, I think really hilarious if they would pick Praxis.
Alright. So we're going to Praxis.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My favorite map. How many good things can I say about Praxis?
Go on.
Well, to start,
It's in your favorite video game.
and that's the comprehensive list of the good things about Praxis.
So Chromie's looking pretty spicy again on this map. We saw her in game 1 and game 2.
Yeah. For both teams, right? Was it both
Mhm.
teams?
I think it was for both teams, if I'm not mistaken. I could be super wrong.
No, it was Resurgence both games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if they say no Chromie.
Yeah, because Resurgence had that nice chromie poke on the BOE objective. And they had it this last game. They picked the same build, so that makes a little bit of sense.
I think Resurgence has also played Gul'dan before, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. I know when we played them on this map.
We played them on Volskaya, and I think they played a Gul'dan into us.
Maybe. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see the Sylvanas come out again if it doesn't get banned. Tends to be a pretty strong hero here. And I think May also just very, very good. I mean, Cat Daddies banned it last game. I'd be curious to see who is going to get the May or ban the May this game. So this was chosen, by the way, for Cat Daddies. So again, first pick chosen by the losing team. And hopefully we can get this going in just a sec. I will say we kind of haven't seen any real soul in action this game, right? Or this series, right? We had BOE, which is like kind of a nothing soul lane map. We had Alterac, which is like, I don't know, Hogger was kind of doing camps the whole time. Cat Daddies had 2 soul laners. There really wasn't a nice off-lane roll, right? But this time we're truly going to get to see some nice 1v1s in that off-lane. We're going to go ahead and start up the draft. First pick for Resurgence.
I wonder if we'll see a Deathwing ban again. It was 2 from Cat Daddies.
I have to imagine we will. I think Deathwing is too good here. It's too flexible. You can draft it early, basically force the other team to play around it as far as what they're playing in the soul lane.
And then maybe not even stick it there.
And then just put it in the format, exactly.
And Deathwing. And
Deathwing or
Deathwing.
May? I don't know. It is interesting seeing Resurgence ban Chromie.
Yeah.
Considering their
Anduin.
first pick. Anduin gonna get banned. Interesting. Maybe they are
Maybe they
afraid
don't want
of
to play
the-
against it.
of the light bomb combo.
So this is a Deckard ban here.
Yeah, I have to imagine it is. It's gonna be a Deckard ban followed by a Deathwing ban. Maybe?
That's what I would bet money on, I think.
Nope, it's
Brightwing.
gonna be Brightwing. Is this gonna be a Deckard pick for Resurgence, you think?
I don't know. This map is a little pokey, right?
It does
And I don't
not
know what-
lend itself to Deckard. Maybe they're just willing to let the Deckard go through.
I think that's a mistake.
You think it's a mistake? I don't know.
I don't know. I think Deckard's one of those heroes that just he rewards a high skill cap, like a high being good with the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding, Fence is quite good with him. So
We'll see. Right now, there are a lot of things still available. Sonya's still up, obviously very good on the map.
Dukov great on this map too. I think.
Stukov very good. Gul'dan, I know it's kind of not necessarily the most traditional, but I think it does have its place here. It looks like it's going to be Johanna first pick, which seems very strange to me. I think there are a lot of picks that could be highly contested right now. Johanna just seems like kind of the safe pick that kind of leaves their draft a bit androgynous.
It does leave them open, right? They can react to whatever they see.
Yeah.
No Deathwing map ban.
Tychus is going to get picked.
Ew.
And there's the Deckard.
There's a Deckard.
So they let the Deckard go through. The Deckard gets picked up. And normally I would say Deathwing, great pick into Deckard, but not a great pick into Tychus.
Yup.
So that combination of heroes.
We might see a ton of poke here, though.
Yeah,
there we go.
There it is.
Gul'dan.
Gul'dan, Cassia. So Gul'dan, it does kind of feel like Resurgence baited the Deckard, right? They saw the
Cassia
Deckard.
also makes sense.
They picked up Gul'dan right away. Cassia
Yep.
into Deckard? It does make sense
No.
into Tychus.
It's a Tychus.
Yeah. But I will say Deckard is kind of annoying for Cassia. Second she gets rooted, she has a bad time. And Stay a While, obviously a very hard time for Cassia. Mouth gonna be the ban here.
I will say I wouldn't put it past him, depending on what the pick is, to send the Tychus to the top lane, depending on what happens here.
Really, to the top lane. Tychus not a top laner.
Not a top laner, but I know we've had some certain situations where you pick something that just can't lane into Tychus. So I think they have to keep that in mind when picking their solo laner.
I think you have to play the solo lane pretty poorly to lose to Tychus, even when you're playing a hero that loses the lane. Because anything that has sustain ends up winning. Any minor trade you get
is a winning trade.
Is a winning trade, right?
Who's still up right now? Sonya's still up.
Sonya's still up. Uther is still up. They still need a tank. Hogger definitely still available. It's going to be Thrall Sonya again. Chupuff definitely did a lot of work on that Sonya last game. And do you think we'll see the Oriole here again for a Resurgence?
With the Gul'dan, it makes more sense, right?
It definitely does.
I don't think Lucio's great early game. I think Oriole provides way more healing with the Gul'dan early game.
Yeah, I mean, Deckard's definitely still up. Or, not Deckard, Stukov still up as well.
Stukov's totally fine here as well.
Just a safe pick.
Stukov's actually quite good because of the... Oh my god, it's a Lily.
Lily. And
I'm here for the Lily.
C2D2 on the Malthael in the solo lane.
I'm not saying that I have favorites, but one team picked a Lily. I do think... I don't know how I feel about the Lily, if I'm going to be honest.
So Lily does one thing this game, right?
Old Q?
It just blinds the Tychus, right? I mean, why else are you picking Lily right now?
I mean, you get the Unstoppable, right? That's something.
What, you get a cleanse?
You get a cleanse.
I guess. I mean, there is quite a bit of CC, especially with the Anubrak now being picked up.
Sonya, even the Thrall.
Yeah. I have to say, though, I'm kind of spooked for Lily. Like, yeah, you have the cleanse and all the CC, but Lily does not like a lot of CC. It's like a lot of slows and like poke damage. She's okay, but if you can lock down Lily, she has a hard time, especially with something like Tychus. If you like stun her and then Tychus just dashes in and blows her up.
And she doesn't lend herself well to the whole idea that Gul'dan just wants to poke the entire team out slowly, right? She is going to run out of mana.
Yeah, this is not a game where you can take Hunger for Power on Gul'dan. By any means. All right.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who I would have picked instead. Malfurion was banned, right?
Malfurion was banned. The only other healer or meta healer, quote unquote, that was up was Stukov.
Stukov, Lucio. Lucio, you can't pick here though.
Lucio, I don't know. I think Lucio's still pickable.
I think too much of the Braxis early game is important, and he just isn't going to be enough throughput for a Gul'dan. Throughput, pardon me. Especially into Tychus.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. We're seeing Malthael with the on-impale horse.
Rotations.
Rotations, I guess, on Brax is still important.
I mean, you have this team full of fatties though, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And interesting, we're seeing the Cassia come top with the Malthael right away, maybe looking for an early pick. We have two heroes coming top for... Oh, we have a bit of a stun onto Cassia. Not enough damage, though, right now.
I like that play though, right? On Resurgence's side, they don't really risk getting shoved in. They have Gul'dan.
Yeah. And Cassia's now here. She is that Q build. She's going to be stacking the Thunderstroke. And Sonya actually goes down in the top lane. I don't know how that
That's
happened.
real bad.
But yeah,
Now
luckily they
Gul'dan's just gonna have a heyday.
Luckily they did have Magnetic up there to catch the soak. So ultimately not going to be that bad. But yeah, you can already see a tower down in the bottom lane. Wingman on that Gul'dan just doing all the strike damage.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was saying, hey, we're going to let you get that Deckard, but we're going to bait you into it in the worst way possible.
Yeah. So tower down. Wingman focusing on that second tower now. He is Q build, or at least the Q level 1 quest. Already at 9 stacks. You know, once he gets that Q quest on, it's just going to be even harder for Deckard to heal up, right?
And I mean, he's just being transparent about him, right? Saying, I want to poke you out.
Yeah.
But again, I can't help but feel like if that was a strategy that, like, Lily kind of is counterproductive. But I don't know, maybe they just picked her for the blinds.
Who knows? So that second tower falling pretty low here.
Solid
C2D2
progress on the
even
objective.
controlling the top lane for the most part as well. Tay on that Thrall rotating up now. C2D2 did get vision of him here. He's going to have to walk away. Nope, content to just fight in the top lane. Thrall misses the root.
Meanwhile, bottom, it looks like this wall's going down.
Yep. Well is going down. I think this might be a case here of Cat Daddies just not really having the answers for at least the early game portion of this draft. I mean,
I wonder if we'll see a lane swap here.
we haven't really had a kill outside of the first one of the game, right? And this has already just been a fort.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
I mean, and rightfully so, though, right? What range do they have to play against this, at least at this point in the game,
I
right?
mean, they don't. We do have a bit of an engage here. They do find the Cassia, but not the Gul'dan. I think that's who they wanted. All of Cat
I do think
Daddies
taking
now
the fight
falling
slowly is...
very low. DG has rotated down now. Actually misses the E, so we're not going to be able to get that body block. And now maybe Resurgence overextending a little bit. There are some rubies down there. Will we see a turnaround? There's still 5 heroes here, so definitely not. And I do think that Cat Daddy's been doing a good job kind of mitigating the damage, at least in these last few minutes here.
I like this rotation, right? They said we got our bottom fort, now we're content to sit top.
Yep. And that's exactly what they're going to do. We do have to get through a bruiser camp. Four heroes in the top against 3. So Vern falling very low on the Cassia. Does have the E back in. Maybe looking to turn the fight. It is 4v3 here. Fence now rotating up. It is Tychus versus Malthael in the bottom lane. Tychus is holding it for now. But how long will he be
Like
able
man
to?
just finishing that Q quest.
Oh, he does get rooted. Good follow up from Shoe Puff. It does kind of put him out of the fight for the time being.
Great Ruby.
Yeah. Magnetic now falling very, very low. It's going to be the first real kill of the game. Going over to Resurgence. C2D2 had started to rotate up, but is now coming back down. He's at full health now. Tychus cannot fight him. Trey hasn't been popped yet. C2D2 still has to be a little careful.
He also does have that potion on the point.
Mm-hmm. Objective finally going over to Resurgence.
Oh, so many Zerg headed right
That being said, this is a Zerg wave going to a keep. in the
D2D2 is a
bottom
little
lane.
far up here.
Yeah, he is a little far up, but he's on a pale horse mount. Can't really be stopped at the moment. Gonna rotate up. Gul'dan clearing out the blue team Zerg wave relatively easily. Wingman doing what Gul'dan does best, you know?
Is the situation here for you? Do you think that the situation changes in the later parts of the game?
I think it does. I think between Stay a While for Cassia and even something like Malthael,
Resetting time.
and then we also have Cocoon. I think this Cat Daddy's draft definitely needs their heroics.
They want the fight fast, right?
Mm-hmm. And yes, they're down 2 forts right now, but they've managed to relatively stay even on XP. And Resurgence definitely needs to make something happen here if they want to stay in the driver's seat of this game.
I mean, we do also have the single cleanse on Lily for a potential horrify in those cases of a hard engage too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's answers. But obviously, Resurgence right now is saying we want our lead and we want to see how far we can get with it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is the problem with the Gul'dan draft, right?
Like you did what you could.
Resurgence have now got both forts, and that's all they can do. They can't play super aggressively. They can't start sieging into keeps. They need to be able to snowball this lead into something more.
They don't necessarily have a comp that can just position into a spot and get their pick right away.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this play. Right, we're forcing a pretty tense
10 to
situation.
9, yep. And I think Cat Daddy's definitely doing the right thing, just kind of giving it up. They know that they not only do they just need heroics, but this boss really isn't going to do that much this early in the game. They're going to be able
Are we looking
to
for an engage for a yep?
invade on the Bruiser camp.
An
Yep.
invade here.
And Cat Daddy's just giving it up.
I will say this boss does give an avenue for the Gul'dan to either push with it or to push on that opposite lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think they probably will push for it. They'll probably get a keep front wall. Who knows? Maybe they'll even get the keep if they find some good advantage in this fight. The wave clear for Cat Daddies is not stellar.
I will say post 10 though, this Gul'dan needs to be careful.
Yeah, and 10 is basically here.
Look at all these rubies here too.
And so they're just going to back off. They do get the front wall. They're going to be content just being able to channel this objective as soon as it's up. And this is where that triple melee Tychus draft is going to have to make something happen.
I mean, Odin was popped there.
Yeah. Cat Daddy's forcing himself onto this top point. C2D2 and Perseus on the Johanna gonna stick around. Looks like neither team really willing to pull the trigger on anything just yet.
I
you
like how
mentioned-
C2D2 staying out of vision here.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we're just kind of rotating around, picking up soak, grabbing the beacons. Resurgence just getting a little bit of progress every time, just because their rotations may be a little bit faster, their wave clears a little bit better.
Kind of like what you said though, right? Right now though, Cat Daddies gets the soak, and Resurgence doesn't always get that opportunity.
Yeah. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a play here. Johanna checks the one bush. Are they going to check the other one? Very safe rotation here.
Ooh, C2D2's in trouble here.
He is. He does get engaged on. He is falling very, very low. Lily is in the cocoon. C2D2 does find the ult onto a noob. Not going to be able to finish the deal. He is going to be able to teleport out of there.
But Gul'dan
Great
goes down.
stay a while and listen. Gul'dan falls. Magnetic coming back in. Cassia going to fall as well. C2D2 having tapped is trying to get back into the fight, but not going to be able to find anything. It's going to be 2 kills there for Cat Daddies. They do have a siege camp on their top keep, but they are going to get a little bit of beacon progress here for their trouble.
Great engaged by the noob there.
Yeah. Resurgence not going to give up too much, but they need to be careful. There's still 2 heroes dead. Magnetic and Shoepuff literally waiting in the bush right here. Shoepuff does get found out. They're going to have to force the engage. Does find the stun onto Lily. Do have a root, but I don't think they're going to be able to get the kill. Thrall still defending top. That keep is actually going to fall. And now Resurgence are in a great position. They do find Magnetic a little bit caught out. Water Dragon stuns the Tychus. Blessed Shield hits minions. That could have been so good. They get 2 kills anyway.
Oh my god.
And Cat Daddies had the engage, but they maybe just bit off a bit more than they could shoot, considering death timers were so short.
I think this is probably a keep, if
This
not
is
at
this
very
is
least
a
front wall.
keep. This is a keep. There is no wave clear on this Cat Daddies roster. They have a wave crashing. Nope, it looks like they're just gonna back off. They're gonna opt for a beacon charge.
And that's fine, right? I mean, look at those respawn timers. They're coming up. They're just playing it safe.
They are playing it safe. I respect that.
That keep top lane pressure is just going to start accumulating too over the course of this game. And it's kind of like I said there too, right? That they got those picks, but that Gul'dan Horrify is just going to be such a major player in making sure that they don't take it too far.
Yeah. Nubrak walked into a lot of...
Ooh, another Water Dragon.
Sonya leap on the back line. Nubrak falling very low, but I think Cassia is going to be the first to fall in this fight. And that is a 1-for-0 for Cat Daddies. They find themselves kind of crawling back into this game. Thrall alone on top here. Is going to be okay.
We do have Stay a While still up.
Bottom. Yep, and it looks like Magnetic and friends are rotating up. Cat Daddy's going to get a fair amount of beacon progress here. Assuming they can keep the members of Resurgence off the points for a significant amount of time. Sonya's still forced to clear the bottom lane, getting choked by the camp. Sonya basically has the hearth before she can even join this fight, and I think Resurgence know it too.
We'll say as long as Resurgence doesn't die here, this beacon situation is kind of already in their favor though, right? Just with the amount of wave clear that they have on their side.
Yeah. Yeah, just getting like an 80% beacon, even if they end up losing it, definitely in their benefit.
Flame on.
But I will say the later this game goes, I mean, we're 3 kills to 5, but Cat Daddies do have a draft that can kind of snowball some of these team fights with things like Cocoon and Stay a While and Listen and Sundering. Blessed Shield goes out just to kind of stall, I think, a bit of beacon progress. I don't necessarily hate that play, especially considering someone has to go down bottom and defend that keep. It's going to be Sonya once again. Looks like the whole team of Cat Daddies is going to rotate down, knowing they have to give up top eventually. What a great back and forth this game is. Both teams just playing very well. They're recognizing what they need to do, what the other team needs to do. Bit of an aggressive positioning here for Cat Daddies, considering Sonya is still defending the bottom keep. There's just 5 heroes here for Resurgence, so we're going to walk away. Look at all these potions here, though.
This is... They are 15 to 16, though.
Mm-hmm. I think they kind of wanted to pull that trigger on that fight. It did feel like Deckard was kind of setting up those potions for that fight, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the 15 to 16
It
is
was
kind
way
of
more.
rough there, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I
I think it's
agree.
worth more than those potions.
Yeah. Big engage onto the Gul'dan in the back line. Lili's going to get cocooned. Gul'dan's kind of all alone. Looks like we do find the kill onto Gul'dan, but at what cost? Sonya's going to go down. That is a big part of the wave clear here for Cat Daddies. C2D2 still relatively healthy, although he's fairly low on mana.
Now we have, what, a full Zerg wave going to core?
Mostly full Zerg wave going to core. We do
Odin
have
gets popped.
Odin that will be able to defend it relatively well. Obviously, Thrall doing his best, but I think this might just be too much for Cat Daddies to handle.
Yeah, core's going down fast.
No stay a while and listen. Odin is doing the best, but it's 50%, 40%. Members of Resurgence are falling, but the Zerg wave is not. Game 3 going over to Resurgence. Just like that. They did what they needed to do.
I think this game was just really good drafting on their part.
Really good drafting. I think they played it very well as well. I think just kind of the rotations, picking up that little bit of beacon progress kind of every time both teams rotated around the map in that kind of circular pattern. It was great. I mean, they used their early game advantage that they had acquired. They got both forts, and they used that to force one of the members of Cat Daddies to go clear one of those camps or defend a keep that was being pushed in. And during that time, they were able to secure just a little bit of beacon progress every time. And then once that Zerg wave ticked off, like you said, it was in their favor.
Even the boss play was great. They said, hey, we got both forts. We just reached 10. We want to force another situation so you can't get back on the map yet.
Yeah, that was extremely well played by Resurgence. Very impressive.
I just like that Braxis game.
Honestly, it was a pleasant Braxis game, I have to say.
Yeah.
I have to say it was a pleasant game. It was not one-dimensional, which I think a lot of Braxis games can kind of fall down into. It was very thought-provoking, to say the least. All right. Game 3 going over to Resurgence. They are now just one win away from taking the Div B West title away from Cat Daddies. Away from their clutches. Where do you think we're going to go next? I think Cat Daddies is going to take first pick. It seems to be the trend. First pick seems to be the way to go. Where are Resurgence taking us map-wise? We have 3 maps left.
Where does Resurgence strong? I think they're strong in their team fights, right?
I kind of disagree.
Really? Oh, no. Is Resurgence map pick?
Resurgence is map pick, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. So is...
Well, I'm assuming Resurgence is map pick. I'll just say that.
Resurgence is map pick, maybe Kristallo if it hasn't been banned? I know it's a 3-lane map. That or maybe they'll go for something similar and go for like Towers of Doom. Right, where they can just push in a structure and say we're gonna win off of that structure. Shrines.
We're going to Shrines, and it looks like maybe that was a Cat Daddy's pick? I don't know. No, it looks like Cat Daddies are still going to be first pick, so probably not Shrine, or probably a Resurgence pick. Resurgence opting for interesting. Infernal Shrines. Probably gonna see some priority on that Hogger once again.
This is not a bad Gul'dan map.
It's not a bad Gul'dan map. It's not a bad Deckard map either. Might be a bit harder to get that Deckard, to kind of choke that Deckard out into the same position that they were able to put Cat Daddies in last game.
Do you think we're seeing an Anduin ban again?
I don't know. I don't know if they necessarily need to. Anduin seems to be a favorite hero for Resurgence. Granted, they are second pick. But we'll see. All right. You know what I find really fascinating about this series? I don't think we've seen Uther a single time.
That's so true.
Uther just completely not present in any
Uther's
of
so
these
good,
games.
too.
Heavy prioritizing of the May and the Johanna. As far as tanks go, we saw Diablo ban, but I haven't seen anything played other than those two. Actually, we saw Nubrak, in that last game. Did we see any other tanks? I think that was it. Alright, game 4. Infernal
We'll go to a game
Shrines.
5.
You think we're going to a game 5?
I wouldn't put it past them.
I think so too. This is definitely Cat Daddies backed into a corner. Or are we going to see some unique picks instead of the vanilla drafts that they tend to be going? I mean, granted, last game was kind of a weird draft. It was like triple melee with a Tychus, right?
Yeah. It was a big problem that they played so far out of the range of what Resurgence was doing, right?
Yeah.
At least in the early game.
Okie doke.
Another great Sonya map as well.
Yeah, definitely. Sonya Hogger, both great here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Deathwing ban here on this map as well.
Deathwing also, yeah, relevant. Malfurion, also something to consider. Wonder if we'll see Chromie again.
Oh yeah, we didn't see Chromie last game.
Chromie got banned by Resurgence last game. Deathwing gonna be banned right off the bat.
So this is what's been our ban of the day here?
Deckard.
Oh, it's Deckard.
Interesting.
Well, this map was picked by Resurgence.
Yes.
So I wonder if we see an Anduin ban here.
I think it has to be, right?
I think you just get rid of the comfort pick here, right?
The games that Resurgence have won have been the games where they put Fence on a weird hero, right? Whether it was Lucio in that first game or Deckard into
Deckard,
right? That being said, this has to be Anduin first pick. If they don't pick up Anduin, I think this is going to be a bad game for Cat Daddies, unless they have something up their sleeve.
They are leaving May up for Resurgence. Oh, I guess not.
We're going to grab May. And I think this is gonna be Anduin Murden or Anduin Johanna. No, Johanna's
Anduin
banned.
Johanna's gone.
It's Sonya.
Sonya. Anduin.
There it is.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose they didn't really need to pick the tank considering May's already gone.
I will say great Lucio map overall, though, right? Like, walls everywhere.
Yeah, definitely a good Lucio map. I mean, Lucio's just a good hero, right?
Control rotations. Boombox can be used as a ward. Stukov.
Stukov this time. And Kuromi finally for Cat Daddies. Be the first time Kuromi on the Cat Daddies side. They still have the option for the Hogger in this draft too.
Sylvanas is still available as well.
Yes, that is correct. Sylvanas still available. What are we banning here? I think it's Hogger, right? Lycus. Interesting. I suppose it's good into Sonya. Maybe Resurgence are thinking about picking up the Diablo in response.
I wonder if they're planning on playing wide.
What do you mean by that?
Like, maybe a double bruiser situation.
I see.
It's good on the point.
Could be. Diablo's gonna get banned. Cat Daddies maybe with a similar line of thinking. What is rounding out this draft? A Resurgence. We still need some damage dealers. Raynor is still up. Cassio and then
Mephisto.
a Mephisto.
I like the Mephisto. But low on wave clear, I will say.
A little bit. A little bit. It's not as if Cat Daddies has an oppressive amount of wave clear right now, so I don't think that's necessarily a huge issue. It's going to be Blaze in the off lane. Definitely a very weird pick. And Raynor going to follow it up that, I kind of assumed. The last pick here, we still need a tank. It's not going to be Garrosh, I don't think. It could be the Anub. I think this might be the game where we see the Uther. Maybe not into Blaze. It's going to be a new
Kind of makes sense. You can go in there and annoy the Stukov Raynor. But I don't know.
I will say there's not a great way to break Cocoon for Cat Daddies.
They do always have the potential of Mephisto teleports into the back of your team with the light bomb.
With the light bomb, yeah. Yeah, they can do that with Mephisto relatively easily, I think.
Especially on the objectives on this map.
And that's going to be pretty brutal too, because they have a Nubrak and Sonya to pretty easily follow up that light bomb stun with like unstoppable engages of their own, right?
Yeah, the flailing swipe won't
do
necessarily
much,
guarantee that disengage. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I think that CC train is going to be very, very strong for Cat Daddies.
This is the most reactive Ballistospores game I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on your face. That being said, I mean, it is Mephisto. Do you need the one good spread?
Reactive Ballistospores at level 1.
Oh, at level 1, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah. As far as the one good spread goes, yeah, I could see a case for it. It's either that or biotic armor, right? But it's what, Cassia?
Cassia, yeah. I mean, Sonya does a fair bit of auto damage too. But I think lately Cassia's been doing more spell damage than auto attack damage. But we'll see, we'll see. There you pretty standard talents so far. We do have the ace in the hole again for Reaner, which now does make sense that we have May, Stukov, and Blaze.
Lots
Even
of focus
Chromie.
moves there.
Yeah.
Especially into a Nubrak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, into the Mephisto, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see one good spread.
Right? Chromie actually went Q build too. Kind of interesting. And I will also say that I think, just in terms of looking at the wave clear, it is just really good for the 4-man, right? For Cat Daddies. And Rainer Chromie definitely going to do a lot more work than Cass. I tried to make some sort of engage on the magnetic. Doesn't have anything here. Both teams just kind of trading. Sitting in the bottom lane. Soul laners doing their best to double soak. So far, very even game. Resurgence getting a bit of an early start on their Khazra camp, their hard camp. But that's the Shaman camp.
Looking for a rotation.
Yep. Magnetic looking. Ooh, just a bit too late. Actually, never mind.
No, made it.
Resurgence
They need to leave.
did not have a hero on that camp. C2D2 maybe sticking around for too long. And that is a solid invade there for Cat Daddy. So Vernon and Cassie are going to get slowed by the Blaze. Excellent slow there from Tay on the Blaze.
I can't help but feel like they hesitated on that capture there.
They did, yeah. There was some sort of miscommunication there in terms of who was going to cap. Maybe they wanted to delay it and time it with the objective, so they purposely didn't grab it.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
see the May in time. But great
Yeah.
awareness by Cat Daddies there.
Yeah, Cat Daddy's definitely doing a good job here making those plays. And they find themselves with a little bit of an XP lead here.
The lead on this objective too is just so important.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll necessarily find it. Ooh, that stun on the Mephisto just barely not connecting, and then the Anduin making the pull just in case he did. Resurgence now forced to clear up this bruiser camp. We're going to kind of step off of the objective for a little while. Resurgence do find level 7 first. The Cat Daddies have it now as well. Blaze is going to be here before Sonya.
I think at this point, Resurgence probably just has to give this point up.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing, but an engage here. Ooh, barely not clipping the Mephisto with the stun.
Big rush uptake. I don't hate that either.
Just re-uptake.
And it looks like we're taking the growing infestation just for the zoning.
Yep. So first objective going over here to Cat Daddies. But Sonya in that solo lane was doing a lot of work, accumulating about half a level of XP advantage here for Resurgence. This first Punisher getting about a front wall and a little bit more. Great stun there from the May, just to kind of zone off that potential engage.
I will say though, Mephisto is one of those heroes that I feel tends to scale quite well into the later game,
Yeah.
as far as damage goes. Whereas I think Stukov's healing does kind of like post 7-ish is like where it's like that's where it hits its highest like disproportionate peak.
Mm-hmm. camps being grabbed for both teams. Cat Daddies, who gave up the bottom camp on the last rotation, actually grab it this time. And they are definitely a little bit lagging in terms of the race for level 10.
Ooh, this Cassie's in trouble. Maybe.
And it looks like has a maneuver act to kind of save her. Turns here for Cat Daddies now. Will they decide to pull the trigger? Ball Lightning goes out there just at the very end. Actually gets quite a bit of damage on defense, but he has the trait.
That's May trait really early.
Yep, and Chromie actually just gets straight up deleted in that fight. There's a big ice wall. We do have a light bomb on a Blaze who climbs into his own bunker.
Great route by the Anduin there.
No, it was gotcha. It was not bunker as a matter of fact. It's combustion. It's gonna be 2 kills for Resurgence. Chromie just falling so early in that fight.
I think new Anduin W is going to be so good.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely excited for that patch coming out tomorrow. So Resurgence definitely still have a little bit of an XP lead here. We're gonna hold on to this bottom objective. Looks like Cat Daddies aren't really gonna do a whole lot else on the map. They're just gonna acquire some XP as best they can. Looks like we do see a commitment of 5 heroes down to the bottom lane. Is it going to be too late? Ooh, ice
What an
wall
ice
to
wall.
2 members on the back line. Light Bomb is going to come out and stun a few heroes, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So Vern gets pulled by Sue on the Anduin. They're actually not able to find a kill. Perseus may be a bit stranded now. Does he have an E to get himself out? It doesn't matter. He has movement speed.
Great
Pathetic
disengage.
looking for something, but that was a long time that Sonya was left up on top here. She got an entire front wall done. Meanwhile, still fighting in the bottom lane. Cat Daddy's looking for some sort of a pick. May has the trait to keep herself alive. And all of a sudden, Cat Daddies have wrestled control over this point. Sonya's still not even coming down. 37 to 35. We're so close on the dudes.
Ooh, 38, 39.
38, and it does
Oh,
go
looks
over to Resurgence. They
Barely.
do lose the Anubarak, but they do barely grab the Punisher. And considering Sonya wasn't there the entire game, that was a huge win for Resurgence. Magnetic Findings, a lot of damage onto Cassia, but actually gets Durance.
Great Durance.
Maybe a
Holy
bit
cow.
overzealous there. And it looks like Sonya found a kill on Blaze in the top lane. That is going to be a huge boom for Resurgence. They're going to start pushing into this keep, probably get a front
At least front wall.
If not, maybe they'll back up and look for the mid fort. I think we're going to walk away here.
Red Team's Punisher has fallen.
So just like that, in a matter of a few minutes, Resurgence of the Storm took control over this game. They're now 2 levels ahead. Our Cat Daddy's going to be able to find a way back into it. Are we going to see them look for a fight before Resurgence hits 16? Looks like they're looking for something. Not able to get what they want, though. Just going to clear out the bottom lane. Resurgence not quite there. Man, Sonya's wave clear's so good. Sonya in the top lane grabbing that last little bit of experience to 16. And I think we're about to see Resurgence get real aggressive here on this mid fort. Front wall is down. It looks like the entire team of Cat Daddies has come mid to defend the fort. We're going to disperse now to go soak. Meanwhile, Resurgence, maybe using Cassia here as bait. Try and get something done. It looks like they're just going to siege into this bottom keep. Considering they saw multiple members of Cat Daddies in the top lane. Magnetic sliding in here. Wingman gets pulled. Cat Daddy's now looking for 16 any way they can get it. Top soak is going unsoaked.
I will say pull is down here.
Pull is down. We do have Ice Wall. Resurgence still have that talent tier advantage. Cat Daddies have found the Anubarak, but they are unwilling to take the fight down talent tiers. And man, Resurgence just used that 16 talent tier so well. Cat Daddies just still barely don't have enough experience to be able to contest this third objective. They do have 16 now, but only after a huge lead has been acquired for Resurgence. Let's come out. Sonya Light Bomb on 2 targets. Looks like Blaze is going to be the target. He has the Unstoppable with the help of his trait. He does get quite a bit of damage off with the combustion. He's barely going to walk away. No, C2D2 does find the kill with that level 16.
Ooh, Fence is in a tight spot there.
Tons of damage onto Stukov. We even have Endurance to prevent Mei from peeling for the Rainer. Now Magnetic does have an E out, but I think they're going to be in trouble regardless. Ooh, they barely find the kill onto her.
I think this might be game.
It's going to be 4 kills, and I would imagine that Resurgence just ends the game here. There's no front wall. They have Sonya on core. That is Wrath, Sonya. Wrath actually did drop, I think, so they don't have that anymore. But this is going to be, I think, more than enough damage to end the game. Are they going to end? They're not. Ooh. That timer's too low. They decide to walk away. They're just going to go grab that objective. They can definitely just still look to end with the objective. That's definitely still on the table. We do have relatively short heroic cooldowns, so most of those are back up, as a matter of fact.
I wonder if they'll go for the end, or if they're just going to go for even more map control in this.
I think they're going to go for the end. I think it's too juicy right now. They do have a 2-level lead, so they can't afford to play it slowly, so they choose. But I think they have so much pick potential, so much CC follow-up with things like Light Bomb and Anubarak and Endurance. If the second this Punisher jumps on anything that isn't unstoppable, that hero's just dead. Magnetic doing their best to bait the Punisher over to that keep. They don't really have the means to. That is Magnetic falling very low. Multiple heroes on the red team falling low as well, though. Punisher
massive stun from the Punisher.
Doing some damage. Magnetic doing their best to distract the red team, who is feeling very low. They actually managed to successfully drag that Punisher over to the mid keep, so this is going to be very difficult for Resurgence to get something done. They're going to look.
We'll see. At this point, I don't think Resurgence can end.
And that was a lot of nothing that a Resurgence accomplished. Yeah, Magnetic did go down, Yes, they do have level 20s, but ultimately that was a Punisher that didn't get anything. No core damage, that didn't get a keep. That keep's not even in danger of going down considering there's this mid fort and a front wall in the way.
Great
And,
defense.
Yeah, excellent defense there from Cat Daddies. That being said, still a huge amount of time where Resurgence has complete control over this game.
One wrong team fight, and now at this point they should be able to just end the game.
Yeah. Ice wall coming out on 2 heroes. Looks like Fence is the target. He
Great
does get
light bomb.
stunned. Durance goes out. He is gone. And like we said, that flailing swipe, not really able to do much against all those unstoppable engages. Wingman actually falling
Oh my gosh.
incredibly low. Oh my gosh. We're going to be pushing in this bottom keep now with the help of the Khazar camp and 1 catapult. And yes, Fence on the Stukov did die, but ultimately, Cat Daddies are still in the game. They are halfway to level 19.
And I mean, it isn't the end of the world, right? 3 of their 4 heroes that are still left have some form of self-sustain.
Yeah. That's very true. Cat Daddies need to find something, and they need to find it fast. We do not have a lot of time left. Objective's going to be coming up any minute.
They get 20 for the objective?
It's hard to say. I think they do. Window and Pole does need to get used there. Nubrak goes in to try to save the Cassia, who is in the silence pool.
Ooh, this Chromie's in trouble.
Umi is in trouble, but Ice Black lost a very long time. Looks like Shupov's going to be super fine. And they bought a lot of time.
Resurgence did use a lot of resources there.
Yeah, there was multiple heroics being blown. Pretty much the only thing that was used was Ice Wall, right?
I think
And
so.
I think Cat Daddies needs to force the 19 to 20 fight. I don't think they're going to get 20 before Resurgence can get enough lead on this objective.
They
But it
don't
looks
really
like
have a structure to bait this time.
They don't have a structure to beat, and they also just don't have the means to. You know, maybe they do get 20. It's already 30 dudes. Blaze coming in. They're just waiting for 20 to tick. Rainer has to pop his ult prematurely, but that Punisher is gonna go in favor of Resurgence here. And they're gonna
Yeah,
look
here's the
for some
question,
sort
do
of
you
a
still continue
fight.
to fight?
Ice wall. Definitely not what they were looking for. Blaze gets stunned. Durance. They're looking for something here. Blaze is gonna go down. That fight just seems like pure desperation. Very well played from Resurgence's part, knowing that they just basically had to not die. Sustain. That's 2 heroes dead, and that is gonna be game here. Fence gonna go down as well. And that is game 4, going over to Resurgence of the Storm, gonna be your Div B West champions. Very, very well played from Resurgence.
That was impressive.
Definitely. The GG's coming out. And that's gonna do it. Well, that was
That was a great
just
series.
a wonderful series. Kind of topped off by a rather dominating performance in Game 4.
Yeah, I gotta say they played that great.
Mm-hmm.
So much for me to learn from these like Anduins. Both of these Anduins are so good.
Yeah, both of them are fantastic. All right. Well, that's gonna do it. Do we want to pull in someone for an interview? let's say you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm down.
Let's see. Let me ask C2D2. All right. All right, I'm gonna go over to lobby 1 or lobby 2. Okay.
In NGS?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
All right. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling pumped. We're feeling definitely pumped. Yeah,
Congrats.
taking down the undefeated team in the finals. Feels
Exactly. That's definitely a nice way to end the season, I have to say.
good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's
Still
not
one
over
more
yet.
now.
Yeah.
One more now.
You still got to fight the East champions.
Yep. Yep. Which
They're
I have
gonna
not
win.
been paying. I have not been paying attention to them at all.
At all.
We've been just been playing it one match at a time.
One match
you
at a
know.
time. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, like, how did you prepare for Cat Daddies? I mean, it's been a while since you played them in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We played them pretty early. I think it was one of our flex matches that we scheduled fairly early on. And you know, we were kind of unprepared at that time. They put some good bands up, and you know, this time we broadened our hero pool, so the possibilities that we could play against them, so they couldn't choke us out as hard.
Right.
And then we just scouted like super hard on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It did
we
kinda
knew
seem
exactly what they wanted to play, like in every aspect. Like I literally like called out what they were gonna pick, like every single time.
every juncture, and
Yeah.
I do think that just in general their drafts have been relatively vanilla, but it seemed like you guys were forcing them onto heroes that they just weren't playing in general.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like, Fence on the Lucio seemed like something that was awkward for them. I mean, the Blaze at the end there.
Yeah. We knew what they wanted to play, and we really talked in depth on like how can we really work this draft in our favor.
I think the
Mhm.
Braxis game was a really big example of that, where you force them onto what would normally be a comfort pick, and then you turn that around on them. I thought that was really well done.
In what
With the
regard?
Deckard?
Specifically with the Deckard into
into
Golden.
Yeah.
Gul'dan. Yeah.
Yeah. Deckard kind of struggles on that map in general, so
Yeah.
you know we.
I main Deckard, so I knew that Braxis hold out Deckard. Like the early game, you just can't keep people healthy enough,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it really struggles.
And I mean, you guys got the pick early on, but really, you guys just got 2 forts on that map, like right off the bat, for basically nothing.
Yeah. The 4-man definitely kept up. I feel like they put a little bit too much attention into the top lane. They kept rotating up,
Mm-hmm.
but not really getting any value from it. So you know, with a Golden in the bot lane, it
It adds up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys gonna do to prepare for East? Are we gonna celebrate a little bit? Are we gonna just
Little
nose to the
celebration.
grindstone?
I don't even know. I mean, I know that like Northeast has to play Southeast.
Right.
I don't even know if that match has happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even sure who we're gonna be playing, but we're definitely, whoever it is, I'm gonna be hitting my nose to the freaking the replays and the everything, just seeing
Nice.
strong, you know.
Glad to hear it. All right, you got anything else for him, Luis?
No, just like you guys were honestly, these sets were so much fun to watch. As someone who plays support for my team, it was really fun watching people who are really good on the heroes that they play. Specifically, like Anduin is a hero that I never perform like nearly as well on, and it was really cool to see people who are just very good on that hero.
Yeah, both teams definitely. I mean, as you see from the bans and everything, and
Yeah.
where Anduin was picked, both teams.
Yeah, Anduin getting picked first pick is, I think, a good indication of like where those priorities were, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Which we knew was going to happen going into this. Like, we planned around that.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty.
That was definitely a
Yeah.
war over the pick of Anduin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, you guys. I mean, really well earned. It was a good series overall. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us cast. And
Yeah,
good
thank
luck to
you
you
guys.
guys in the rest of the Div B gauntlet.
All right, thank you. I just
Yep.
want to make a quick shout out to
Yeah, go for it.
everybody who's watching. My girlfriend for always supporting. I think she was doing some comments in there
Wonderful.
on the Twitch stream. Yep. So, and then my team, I want to shout out to Cat Daddies. You know, they had a really great season. I'm sure we'll see them in Division A next season. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, a little rivalry started now. It's 1-1.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Good luck.
All right.
Thanks for casting.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep.
All right, dude. I am
think we're
gonna finish it off. I don't think I really have the power to. Actually, maybe I do have the power to host. So we'll see who to host here. I think I'm modded in NGS chat. Yeah, I am. Let's see. Is there any NGS games going on right now? Doesn't look like it. So we'll just go host Kai Berries, I guess.
Let's go, Kai Berries.
Don't remember how to do this.
Come on, you can do this.
All right. Is that happening? Nope. Is it slash raid? Might be slash raid. Yeah, there it is. There we go. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
And hope you all have a wonderful night. See ya.